everybody. It is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, bringing you another Hop Nerd Live. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing excellent. I am here in the luxurious Hop Nerd Studios, bringing you another episode. And this is our normal Wednesday episode, so that's kind of super cool, right? This is our normal episode, but I had to be different. I had to change things up. I'm an hour late, so most of you probably noticed that I'm an hour late. So I'm an hour late for a really good reason, because I was doing an interview for the podcast right here, sitting just like this, just not talking to you, talking to somebody else. So I look forward to sharing that with you. Is with a phenomenal individual, Tabitha Laser. You'll see this one coming out in the next week, maybe two tops. I got to go fiddle around and see what the schedule even looks like, but you'll see that coming out really soon. And we chatted and chatted and chatted. Tabitha is awesome. Make sure you go search her. It's T.A. Laser with an S.com. She's super cool. You got to tune into that podcast when it comes out. It's super awesome. How are you doing today? Send us a text, 480-877-0155. You can shoot us a call, 480-712-5219. We're here. We're hanging out. We're going to talk for a little bit. Then I'm going to go home. I'm tired. Look at this. I'm tired. And the air conditioner is still not fixed. That's why you get to see this lovely red, sweaty face that's going on, is because my air conditioner is important, even if we are in the apocalypse. Right? I think so. It's important to me. Again, I am Sam Goodman. I'm the Hop Nerd. I am currently your tour guide to the apocalypse while we are being apocalyptic, I guess. We're going to continue hanging out. We've been doing this thing just about every single day for the past little bit. And that's fun. I'm going to keep doing it as long as it makes sense for us to do that. We're going to keep having this really super fun conversation. So please make sure you give us a call, 480-712-5219. That phone line rings directly here, so we'll see if it works. I've been playing with it, trying to get it to work right, so we'll see what happens. If it kind of messes up, I apologize. But I hope things are going for you, going well in your neck of the woods. They're going well for me. Phoenix status update. Let's see what's going on in Phoenix. I'll share with you what's going on in Phoenix for me. Everything is going pretty good. Traffic is still super, super, super duper light. If you can't tell, traffic has continued to be light in the Phoenix area. And that's a good thing, right? I mean, I think that's a great thing. I'd seen where the governor had shared some pictures from some of the same traffic cams that we look at, and I was basically thanking folks for staying home. So I think it's good. It's good that folks are starting to honor that stuff. It's good that folks are staying home where they can. I've shared with you that I've been having to go out and travel and do a little bit of weird and wacky stuff just because that's what I do, right? If it's essential, it's essential. I got one of those handy dandy essential letters the other day, so I'm officially essential. That is the coolest thing I think I've experienced in my life. But look at all that green. This is Phoenix at 6 p.m. It is not like this. I told you this yesterday, but it is not like this normally. It just doesn't look like this. Look, that's I-10 downtown. That's the middle of downtown Phoenix. There's two trucks. Right? Look at this. There's nothing going on out there, which is good. That's a good thing. Thank you. Thank you, people who are staying home. I've shared with you a lot of my daily routine. I go from I'm usually home. I'll be home all week next week. I'm not going out anywhere. I'm working completely from home, other than maybe some pit stops here to talk to you. But I see no one when I'm here, right? This is just like staying at home. I go down the stairs, into my garage, into the car, straight to here, from the car straight to the studios, and lock the door, so you don't you won't see me very, very often out and about at all, unless I absolutely have to be out and about right now, because I'm trying to do my best, just like everybody else, to be socially distanced and isolated away from everybody. I mean, that's really the best thing that we can do right now as we continue to share, is just staying away from folks. That's the best thing that you can do. What are you doing to pass the time while you are in social isolation? Again, this week, I told you this week was the first one for a while for me where I got to actually get out and go do some stuff, and that was kind of cool. I had to get out and do some stuff. Let me put it that way. I'm doing my part to be helpful in the midst of this thing. This is a handy-dandy symptom check bracelet, for those that don't know what that is. You say, I've not been out clubbing. I know somebody's going to say something about it. This just means that I was checked. I was checked and cleared at some point today. And that's a lot of what I've been doing. I've actually been doing assisting with a lot of that stuff and kind of helping with that and trying to get our hands on supplies and different things, obviously, that we're all struggling with right now in our profession, at least in the safety professionals that are tuning in. We're probably all struggling with some of that right now. But yeah, so that's been kind of what I've had going on this week. What's going on in your world? Send us a text, give us a call, all that kind of fun stuff. You can get a hold of us at 480-877-0155. That comes right here to my handy dandy cell phone, or you can call us 480-712-5219. I look forward to continuing to have this conversation with you. Italy's coronavirus death rate slows, but studies suggest the true tally is going to be higher. So the Civil Protection Agency said that 727 people have died over the last 24 hours, down from 837 the day before, bringing the total fatalities from the world's deadliest outbreak of the viral pandemic to 13,155. Italy accounts for 30% of all global deaths from the highly infectious respiratory illness. And 2 new studies suggested its true death toll could be significantly higher. So it'll be interesting to see what really comes out of that as things continue to come out. I keep beating up China, but I think it'll be interesting if we ever actually get to see what happened in China with the numbers. National stockpile running low on protective gear. Well, yeah, we know that. I'd read some pretty cool articles, interesting stuff coming out that was shared from Duke University, I believe, and around the use of vaporized hydrogen peroxide to basically decon or sterilize N95 masks, which was really, really cool. I thought that was a really, really neat article. I'd also kind of, as I started down that rabbit hole, I'd heard of that, and then today, due to some other things I was researching that we were needing to do, went down the rabbit hole of series of articles on these gigantic Connex C-van trailers that certain organizations have kind of repurposed into being these gigantic hydrogen peroxide vaporization chamber things, I guess. I don't know what you'd call them. I don't know what the technical term. My medical folks out there that know sterilization, you can hit me up and let me know what those things are actually called. But they basically kind of, in the land that I'm from, we call it redneck engineered. They kind of engineered these things for something greater than their original purpose. And we're using them to basically decon like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these N95 masks and other PPE at the same time. So I think that's probably the future of what we see as these stockpiles continue to get depleted. I don't know what's going on for you. I can tell you in a professional setting, most folks are having a really hard time getting their hands on stuff. That's one thing that I will say is people are really having a struggle in getting their hands on the stuff that they actually need. I'd say that's probably one of the biggest struggles I see going on out there right now as more and more organizations start health checks and screenings. They're wanting to protect those people, obviously, right? We're wanting to protect those folks. So as we go to protect those people, we need stuff to do that with. I'm seeing a lot of folks lean heavier into where they should, and obviously they should, lean heavier into engineering controls and certain things like that, heavier into administrative controls and different things to actually protect folks other than just throwing them into some PPE. So that's kind of cool to see a lot of that stuff starting to happen. It's neat to see a lot of the innovation that's being forced. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that we learn and we grow from, hopefully. That's my hope as we start to come out of this thing is what have we actually learned as we continue to move on and get past this thing. I think that's going to be some silver linings that we're actually going to learn some stuff. We're hoping, right? We're hoping that we're actually going to learn some stuff. Again, how are things going for you? Give me a call, 480-712-5219. I would love to have that conversation with you or continue this conversation with you. We've been doing these things every single day just as a way to hang out, spend a little bit of time together because nobody's getting to spend a lot of time with each other, right? Or you shouldn't be, at least. So this is a way to keep me sane and a way to have a conversation with you and a way for us to just have some fun in the midst of all this that's going on. We're all kind of isolated. I shared with you a little bit of my story about this week of actually having to come out of the house for a little bit to do some stuff, some work-related things that were necessary, and kind of coming out of the house and going and wandering around and seeing some people that I hadn't seen in a while. It was required, so don't throw rocks at me. I'm the first to tell you that if you don't have something that's absolutely necessary, that you should stay home. But I had to get out and do some stuff, and it was nice. While I'm not encouraging you to do that, I'm encouraging you to connect with people in any way that you can. Some of the conversation I was having earlier, we were talking a lot about some of the silver lining of this stuff, and a lot of it is that we're getting to spend more time with our family and our loved ones, our immediate family at least. We're getting to connect more and spend some quality time with each other. I didn't realize just exactly how busy we were, how busy our lives were, until all of a sudden, we're spending a lot more time together, right? It was really, 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 really eye-opening, because we are very busy. As with most folks, I will tell you, our daily schedule is packed full. I don't know what yours looks like, but I can tell you that's what ours looks like. We are always on the go, and that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. We really, really, really enjoy our schedule. We definitely do. I like staying busy. Most folks, I don't know how you stand on this, but I really like being busy. A normal work week day for us, we're up way before the sun comes up, or at least I am. Yeah, one of us is. We're up. We're getting things ready, going to work, getting our daughter to school, our daughter Avery, getting her to school, doing all that kind of stuff. Then off to work, doing all the kind of normal work stuff, then kind of doing all of the second job stuff. I have like second and third and fourth jobs that happen. And then usually going to the gym and doing all that kind of stuff, and then doing any type of grocery shopping or swinging by the store or doing any of the other hobbies that we have going on. And we're even looking at adding more hobbies to some of that stuff. It's just we like to get up and get out of the house and get going, and then get home kind of late, and then just go to bed. We just crash. We basically have a hotel room, I think, that we live in. But it's awesome. That's a good thing for us. That's how we like to stay busy. We really enjoy it. The harder part is now we're kind of the exact opposite of active. So it's not super duper fun. I'm struggling a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling with it a little bit. We gotten to the point to where we actually ordered some bicycles. So we're going to go start biking around Phoenix. So Phoenix has done some really cool things where they've actually left the parks and the trails and the golf courses and certain things open for sanity's sake. And that's good. You still need to get out. You still need to get exercise. You still need to do that stuff. We're severely lacking on our gym routine right now because it doesn't look like we're going to get a go for like a year, which kind of stinks. We'll see how that plays out. But we got some bicycles now. We're actually talking about trying to convert half of our garage into a gym. So we'll see how that works out too. That's the next step. If it looks like we're going to be out of the gym for a while, we'll probably convert half of our garage into a gym. So we're exploring that option, looking at some different things. It's weird. Again, talking about things that are hard to find right now. Gym equipment is some of that stuff that's kind of hard to find right now. You go into Walmart, all the stuff's gone, and not that I'm advocating buying Walmart gym equipment, but that's kind of where this mission kind of started. As we were kind of wandering through Walmart, we're like, maybe we can grab this and that and work on some stuff. So we've been looking at actually ordering a bunch of stuff, to kind of outfit the garage, and we've been looking at some options online and some different stuff to try to make that happen. But most folks are absolutely sold out of just about everything right now as far as gym supplies go. So even like Rogue, like I was looking at some Rogue stuff last night, and it was just back ordered, long wait times, all of that kind of stuff. And I get it. Trust me, I get it. But that's become like a really hot commodity right now is gym equipment. Who would have thought that you couldn't just go order some equipment? Who would have thought that you couldn't get webcams, that you couldn't get HDMI to USB cards for DSLR cameras, right? All that kind of stuff, all the kind of wacky stuff that we just didn't really think about not being available is not available. And I'll tell you, in the industry space of things, there's a lot of other stuff that's become hard to get your hands on. Thermometers, right? Good luck getting your hands on thermometers, Tyvek suits, disposable gloves, any of that kind of general stuff that's being used currently. It's really hard to get your hands on it. At-home gym chastity belt, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the thought process. We're really thinking about exploring how we outfit the gym at home. There's some really basic stuff that I would want, but I want to get pretty decent quality stuff. I wouldn't want it to break down. So we're exploring that. We're seeing what that actually looks like. if it looks like this is going to be a while, that's definitely going to be something. Definitely going to be something that we do. So, again, thank you guys for continuing to hang out with us. Thank you for joining us on these live streams. This is our normal Wednesday show. We have shows at Wednesday at 5, Friday at 8. That's our main live stream shows. I've continued to do these at just about every single day around 5 this week. Next week, we'll probably be back to around 2 or 3, or I'll be honest with you, it's whenever I feel like it, right? Like I said, I'm back to working from home next week, so I'll have some time to jump on a little earlier if we see fit. But again, I just thank you, everyone out there, for continuing to join along. Make sure you head over to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. That's an easy way to go check me out, check out all the stuff that I've got going on. Follow along on all my social media stuff. I didn't plug all this stuff at the beginning, so I'll do it now. Follow along on all my social media stuff at The Hop Nerd, except for Twitter, because it is super duper special. It is The Hop Nerd 1. You can find me everywhere. So if you go look on LinkedIn, just look up Samuel Goodman. You'll see this face, this ugly mug, and you can follow along with me there. I publish a lot of content there pretty regularly. It's pretty constant that I publish content there almost all the time, right? It's almost all the time. So I've slowed down a little bit in the past few weeks just because I've been devoting more time to this. I've been busy, as most safety professionals, practitioners hopefully are. Right now, you're staying busy working on a lot of this stuff. But again, check me out. Go take a look at all that stuff. Make sure you give me a like, a subscribe, hit a bell, do whatever you got to do for whatever it is. Just follow along with me. I always appreciate it. I hope things are going well for you. Shoot us a text, 480-877-0155. Give us a call, 480-712-5219. I always look forward to hearing from you. I always get some awesome and amazing comments and emails and all that stuff. Oh, you can email me too. It's Sam, that's S-A-M, that's real hard, right? Sam at thehopnerd.com or thehopnerd@gmail.com. And you can get a hold of me that way too. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. Most folks will tell you that I love talking to you. So we'll end up talking for a long time. Sometimes that's why I was late. I like talking. I like talking to interesting people. I like helping you with your stuff out there too. So shoot me a call, and I'll throw this back out there too. With all the stuff that's going on with weirdness and misinformation and ridiculousness around what people are using for personal protective equipment, feel free to shoot me a text over. Where's it at? Over there. There. Right there. And I will gladly help you as much as I can, or at least point you in the right direction of some valid information, to where hopefully we're not wearing like grapefruit and wet socks and stuff like that tied around our faces anymore. I'll gladly share information with you, again, as much as I can. A lot of what I'm seeing in the news right now is talking about protective gear shortages. That's what I spent most of my day dealing with. I'll be honest with you. I spent a sizable portion of my day just dealing with that, on what that actually looks like, and working on that and trying to find stuff. That's what I spent a sizable portion of my day on. So I'm seeing a lot of that going on right now. FDA calls for heartburn drug Zantac to be pulled from the market immediately. The Food and Drug Administration has requested the manufacturer pull all prescription and over-the-counter drugs known by the brand name of Zantac from the market immediately, the agency announced on Wednesday. The FDA noted an ongoing information has determined that levels of contaminant in the heartburn medication increases over time, and when stored at higher than normal temperatures poses a risk to public health. The contaminant NDMA is a probable human carcinogen, and the FDA has been investigating levels of it since the summer of 2019. We didn't observe unacceptable levels of NDMA in many of the samples that we tested. Dr. Janet Woodcock, director of the FDA Center of Drug Evaluation and Research, said in Wednesday's announcement. However, since we don't know how or for how long the product might have been stored, we decided that it should not be available to consumers and patients unless its quality can be assured. And that seems like a smart thing to do if you're dealing with a probable carcinogen. It seems like probably a wise thing to go ahead and pull that medication. It seems like that's what they're doing. HOA threatens nurse with $1,000 fines for having quarantine RV in driveway. So I can just tell you, I live in a pretty large metro area, right? We have lots and lots and lots of HOAs, and I guess there's not a nice way to say this, but screw those people. Like, I will not buy a home in an HOA. I just won't do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not willing to purchase something and then put up with somebody else's crap and to tell me what color I can paint anything, or whether I can have my quarantine RV or my armored personnel carrier or my rocket launcher or whatever in my driveway. No, it's not. I'll just pass. Now, granted, most folks, when you move in and you buy a house, you sign up and you sign all this whole crap that says that you understand there's an HOA. So this is coming to us from Jacksonville, Florida. A homeowners association in Jacksonville, Florida, threatened a nurse with up to $1,000 in fines for parking a recreational vehicle meant for quarantine in her driveway. They had a big discussion via the board without speaking to us, and decided that we needed to remove our RV or we would be charged $100 a day up to $1,000 if we left it here. Sarah Lynch, a clinical nurse coordinator at the Jacksonville Hospital, told News4Jax Tuesday, Lynch works from home, triaging calls and managing staff and patients. According to the report, she believes that soon she will have to physically go to the hospital and wants to prepare in case she may become infected with the novel coronavirus. The time will come when I will probably need to isolate myself, Lynch said. She and her husband, her husband works for the Department of Defense, moved the RV from storage and parked it in their driveway so that anyone who becomes infected will be able to isolate from the rest of the family. The couple has a special needs daughter in their home. The RV has a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen, optimal for a person in self-quarantine. Self-quarantining in an RV seems pretty smart to me. Seems like you've got some HOA that, again, I would encourage you to avoid that situation to begin with. But they kind of have a reputation of being assholes. Let's just be honest there. Kind of sort of do. Are you on an HOA board? Call in. Let's argue. But I'll tell you, I owned a home in an HOA area, and there was a lot of arguing, and I don't own that home anymore. I just don't. So I live in a non-HOA area now. So pass. Not for me. And that's hard. That's hard to do. I'll be honest with you. I live in the downtown Phoenix area, so I guess it's not as hard because I'm not in the middle of the burbs. I'm kind of in the metro area. I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it, downtown Phoenix. So we don't really deal with it too much, but pretty wild. So I don't know. It seems like with everything that's going on, look, I get it. If you buy a house and you sign the stuff, you're saying, I understand there's an HOA, I understand there's rules, I understand I'm going to apply with them. You need to read all that crap before you sign it. You need to understand all that crap before you agree to it, especially before you purchase a home somewhere and you're going to be held accountable to someone else's rules. But maybe you didn't take the time to read. You probably should read them and understand all that kind of stuff. But even with that, it seems like right now, it seems like the HOAs could find other things to do. Really? Right now? This is what you're going to deal with? Someone that's trying to do the right thing? You're an asshole. Well, let's just leave it at that. That HOA sucks. They're assholes, period. You suck. That's all it is. And I got a feeling that people are probably going to come down on you pretty hard for that one. So let's see where that one goes. We'll have to follow that and say more to come, but not too cool. Not too cool from them. How are things going for you? Shoot us a text. How's your HOA? Do you have an HOA? 480-877-0155. Give us a call, 480-712-5219. Again, this is the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, your tour guide to the apocalypse, doing the Hop Nerd Live Wednesday show. Again, every Wednesday at 5, every Friday at 8, we do this thing. We've been doing it just about every single day at, I won't say random times. They're pretty consistent. They just change from week to week because I don't know what's going on. Now, the Wednesday shows, the Friday shows, those are always going to happen. Everything else is just an extra. How about that? Let's see what else is going on out there in the world, in the news. Trump says he doesn't know if China underreported coronavirus numbers. I'm not an accountant from China, quoted the president. And that's kind of sort of true. I get it. I think we can draw the assumption or make a pretty wide assumption that, yeah, probably did. Chinese government. Right. So Florida, as we mentioned, issued a stay-at-home order. Governor Ron DeSantis cited Trump's change in demeanor in issuing the stay-at-home order. So we see that happening now. Trump says he's open to speaking to Biden about coronavirus. If Biden can get out a formulated sentence, we'll see how that goes. See how that goes. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not going to dive into where I stand politically. It's none of your business, and I don't feel like sharing it. But I will say, I think we can all admit that that Mr. Joe there is struggling with getting some words out of his mouth hole. He's not good at that. If you go back, just Google some of the blunders that's been going on. It's hilarious. The one I forget, he was on CNN or something, and he just kind of just tags, that sounded dumb. Maybe he didn't realize he was live. I don't know, but you listen to all of it. He just doesn't seem to know what he's saying at any given time. So I got a feeling that it's gonna. We got a buttload of hilariousness that's to come in the coming election cycle. But let's go on to see what Trump said about this. President Trump on Wednesday said he would absolutely take a call from the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden to discuss the response to the coronavirus. Oh, absolutely. I'd love to speak to him, Trump said during the White House coronavirus briefing. I've always found him to be a nice guy, he added. Trump expressed openness to speaking with his potential general election opponent. After first chiding him as Sleepy Joe, and let's just admit it, no matter whether you like Trump or not, he gets some nicknames to stick. That happens pretty cool, or pretty often. The Biden campaign said earlier Wednesday that former vice president offered to call Trump and talk about how best to combat the pandemic, which has killed thousands of Americans. That's a good thing, I think. We need folks coming together. We need folks having that conversation. I don't know if either of those are the right people to have the conversation, but at least people are saying something, right? At least people are trying to have a conversation. D.C. leaders fear an outbreak that cripples the country. We kind of feel crippled already, and I get that there's a lot that could happen. There's a lot more that could happen at least, but things are pretty shut down here. That's my fear, obviously, is a lot of small businesses are struggling. There's a lot of small mom-and-pop restaurants out there that are just struggling, that don't have a takeout game, right? They just don't have that, or maybe their product isn't suited for takeout, and it's hard. And I get that. I get the adapt, overcome, adapt, or die type of thing. But that's the fear. You don't want to see restaurants and small businesses forced to go under just because of government. Right? I mean, you just don't want to see that. So I think a lot of us feel like a lot of things are already crippled. But basically, what this article is going on to speak about is that what would that look like what would New York look like on a full U.S. scale? And not good, right? It would not be fun for any of us. And I think that's what most of us are preparing for is a countrywide lockdown situation at some point. I know that's what a lot of businesses are trying to prepare for, at least essential businesses. So it'll be interesting to see how all that works out. Russian plane with coronavirus medical gear lands in U.S. after Trump-Putin call. Interesting. A Russian Aerospace Forces plane carrying medical equipment landed at John F. Kennedy International Airport on April 1st, 2020. Isn't it an April Fool's joke? Let's see where that goes. Moscow/Washington. Russia sent the United States medical equipment on Wednesday to help fight the coronavirus pandemic. A public relations coup from Russian President Vladimir Putin after he discussed the crisis with U.S. President Donald Trump. I cannot talk tonight. I'm sorry. I've been talking for about the past 4 hours straight, which is awesome. That's what I do. This what all this is made up of. It's me rambling and talking and interviewing and kind of all that stuff. But I haven't ate anything. I'm gonna go home and eat and take a nap when we're done here. Just FYI, that's what's next on my plate. Quite literally. Trump struggling to fill shortages of ventilators, personal protective equipment, accept Putin's offer in a phone call on Monday. A Russian military transport plane left an airfield outside of Moscow and arrived at New York's John F. Kennedy Airport in late afternoon on Wednesday. So emergency aid from Moscow to Washington. Pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting. And I think that's something that we're going to have to see happen. We haven't seen anything force the world together to work together like this in a very, very, very long time. So hopefully that's what we're seeing and not something else. But we're all going to have to work together to get through this thing, and hopefully that's what we're seeing. On April 1st, 1700. I'm telling you, I'm hungry. That's a nice little slip there. On April 1st, 1700, English pranksters began popularizing the annual tradition known as April Fool's Day by playing practical jokes on each other. That's from On This Day in History. I think we all knew. Hopefully you knew that that's what was going on today. I've seen some great videos floating around the internet of stuff that happened today. On this day in 1945, U.S. troops landed in Okinawa. In 1970, on this day, Nixon signed legislation banning cigarette ads on TV and radio. On this day in 1984, Marvin Gaye is shot and killed by his own father. In 1963, soap operas General Hospital and The Doctors premiere on April 1st, 1963 on the ABC television network. On this day in 1946, Alaskan earthquake triggers massive tsunami. Lots and lots of stuff. Lots and lots of stuff happening. In 1924, Adolf Hitler was actually sentenced for his role in the coup in 1923, or the attempted coup of Munich, by right-wing members of the army and the Nazi Party. In 1789, first U.S. House of Representatives elects their speaker. So a lot of interesting stuff happened on this day, on April Fool's Day, throughout the years. Pretty interesting stuff. We'll take a look and see if we have any cool, famous birthdays out there. If I can get these fingers to work any better than what's going on here. I'm struggling. I'm ready to go and take my nap. It's going to be nap time as soon as I get to the house. Let's see if we had any cool, famous birthdays happening April 1st. Not seeing anything super cool. Kid Ink turning 34 today. Debbie Reynolds was born in 1932. I don't know. Let's see the number one, the site that I'm looking at puts these things in I guess popularity, and they're not, because usually I'm going to get down through this list and then I'm going to find some pretty interesting characters usually. Susan Boyle turning 59 today. See what else we got. Anybody else out there? Is it your birthday? Let me know. Okay, here's a good one for me. So I'm a nerd, obviously, right? I mean, obviously, I am a nerd right down there. But I'm more than just a hop nerd. I will say that too. I'm more than just a hop nerd. I like all kinds of cool stuff. In several of these, we've gotten down the topic of some of my morbid, or more macabre things that I enjoy, such as Ask a Mortician. If you want to go spend some time on the couch watching YouTube, Ask a Mortician is a great one. Go check that out. My book right here, The Beyond the Dark Veil, that some of you have, again, if you tuned into several of the podcasts, you got to, let's see if I can show you this book. We got to hang out and talk about this one quite a bit. This book right over here, somewhere right here. You can see the little black bit of it there. You can't really see it, and I can't really reach it. But right over there, and my plague mask and all these kind of weird, wacky stuff. I also really like the show Ghost Adventures. So don't make fun of me too bad. I don't know if you enjoy Ghost Adventures. I enjoy Ghost Adventures. I don't really buy into all the crap, so don't get me wrong there. I'm not what you would call I'm not a believer, right? I'm not that. But I just really enjoy the show. I think it's wacky and quirky, and they go to some really cool places, and you get some kind of alternative history and some other things. It's really just that. It's just an enjoyable show. It was well produced. It's fun. It's a blast. I just like it. So that whole long story to explain about, again, diving back into some of my more my more macabre hobbies and interests and all that stuff, and to lead me to talk about Ghost Adventures, was to tell you that today is Aaron Goodwin's birthday. He is 44. So happy birthday to you, Aaron Goodwin. Is an amazing part of that show. So if you don't watch Ghost Adventures, you should. You should. I like it. Ghost Adventures is fun. Let's see who else we've got going on down here. Anybody else super cool that stands out? I'm sure I'm missing somebody. And if it's your birthday, if your birthday is on April 1st, I'm missing you. And that's the most important birthday of all, is yours. So hopefully, if you are watching this and your birthday is today, happy birthday. But that's all I'm saying. I'm not seeing anything super duper cool that I'm missing out of that list. So again, hope things are going well for you out there. Things are going good here. We're going to go for just a few more minutes, and I'm going to wrap up and go home, take a nap, hang out, jump on the couch, all that kind of stuff, and we'll get to do this thing probably again tomorrow. Let's see if I just double check through the news, make sure we're not missing anything. U.S. health expert says coronavirus antibody tests could be available within this month, so that's a little bit of good news, hopefully. In the U.S., coronavirus cases passed 200,000. There's a lot of controversy going on around the masks still that that I like to rant on. The Tiger King stuff is still in the news. Again, if you need something to do, you should watch that, number one, and then number two, you should go and watch the. You should definitely go watch the Joe Exotic YouTube channel. I'd shared a little meme earlier on LinkedIn, and I got some DMs from folks going, "Hey, what is that?" And it was something that I had stole from some friends on Facebook and just reshared, which I'm sure they stole it from somewhere else. But it's basically this whole thing talking about you better get to washing your hands a little bit better if you want to see tomorrow. And it had a picture of Jessica White. So for those of you out there who know who that was, you should Google Jessica White. You should watch the original PBS documentary on Jessica White. That is the best one. Those several PBS documentaries that come out in the early 90s are the best. So I'm just trying to give you some stuff while you're isolated to do. You should watch the Jessica White documentaries, the first ones, and then once you've watched all that, maybe dive into the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. That's not the best one. Look, that's if you didn't watch the first ones, you're missing out. You got to watch the first one. You got to watch The Dancing Outlaw, right? The original documentaries on Jessica White. Then later you can dive into the Wonderful Wild Whites of West Virginia, whatever it is. You can dive into that one. It's not nearly as good, but it's still good. So if you're wondering about that, because I got a bunch of DMs, I almost forgot that. I got some DMs and some text people going, because I said we can't be friends if you don't know who this is. And I have no clue to who it is, and if you don't know, then you don't know. You should totally go check that stuff out. So just Google Jessica White. You'll find exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll thank me later for that. You'll definitely thank me later for that. It's a great watch if you haven't watched it. Most folks from where I'm from have seen it because it's our neck of the woods. If you're not from there, as a lot of my friends are, make sure you go tune in and you check that out. So I'm giving you a pretty solid watch list. You should watch Tiger King, right? Documentary on Netflix. When you get done with that, you should go search the Joe Exotic YouTube channel. You should watch that. Then you should go watch The Dancing Outlaw, the original, the OG, the original documentaries, right? You should watch the original Dancing Outlaw documentaries. Then you can dive into the Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. And between that, it will just be a bleach blonde mullet tinged with the slightest drops of methamphetamine. You will love it. It is wonderful. It is all things redneck, all rolled into one. That is the redneck feature cinema right there, right? If you go with Tiger King and then you dive into Jessica White, you will have fun, and it will be hours and hours and hours of enjoyment for you. So don't miss out on that. You definitely want to watch those if you're looking for something to do while you are in isolation from everything out there. So that's what I'm going back into next week. I'm going to be at home. I'm going to be here at the Hop Nerd Studios. I'm having this conversation with you. I'm going to be working from home, doing all that kind of stuff. What are you doing next week? Let me know. Like I told you, even if you're watching this after the fact, you can always give us a call, shoot us a text. You can call either number, right? They both work. It's just that the text number comes here, right? This is easy for me to read. So it's always about what's easier for me if you haven't figured that out yet. But you can always call us, leave us a voicemail, even if you're watching this after we go off the air, and we can use your voicemail in the next live stream. If you have a question, you have something you want to share, a story, something you want to rant about, a status update from you, leave us that voicemail, leave us that text, shoot us an email, however you want to get it to us, and I'll share it on the next show. That's what I do. So even if you miss out on the live show, you can always get it to us while we're off the air. Do me a favor, too, when you see us going live, if you want to head over to www.thehopnerd.tv, that brings you to our live show page, and you can watch us right there. You can dive into the comments right there. There's a lot of fun stuff that you can do there too. So plus then you can explore the rest of the web page if that's something that you're into, and I always appreciate that. Again, I always appreciate you checking out the website, checking out that stuff, liking, subscribing, following along. Please make sure that you're following along on our YouTube channel. I'm trying to put a lot of video content out. I've got a lot out right now. I'm at least putting out a few videos a week right now. As we continue to live stream, I've kind of slowed down a little bit on that just because I'm just trying to devote more time into having a conversation with you right now. I feel like this is more valuable right now to all of us as we're kind of going through this thing. But yeah, please make sure you're following along. I'd love to hear how things are going for you. I'd love to see pictures. I get a lot of pictures of kind of weird and wacky kind of things. I was getting some pictures of people sending me pictures like the National Guard deployed, and people sending me pictures of different shelves and all kinds of different stuff that's going on out in their neck of the woods. I'm always interested in what things or how things are going for you. 160,000 backlogged tests. It takes 10 days for results currently. Pretty interesting. Again, just browsing through the news, seeing if there's anything out there that's worth sharing at the moment. I haven't looked at any of the state numbers. I haven't looked at any of the Arizona numbers. Again, I shared with you a lot of the stuff that's going on out here in our state. You can see this is the middle of rush hour, and I can't tell. It looks like we might be getting a little bit of rain out there, which is kind of cool. That's awesome. It looks like a rainy camera to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but traffic is. There was some rain there, but yeah. So traffic is super duper light for us right now. It is very light here in the greater Phoenix area. If you've been here or if you know what it's like in any large city around rush hour, that is not what it normally looks like. So, again, look for the positive stuff. There's a lot of positive stuff out there, too, and the lack of traffic is one of those positive things. That means my commute from here to my house, which is downtown, to downtown, is going to only be like 10 minutes when I leave here. So I'm excited about that. I'm pretty stoked about that. We didn't dive in to see what's going on in Flagstaff. I don't know. Let's take a look. I wonder how Flagstaff, Arizona is going. If you've got somewhere else that you would like for me to share, let me know. Shoot me a text. I will gladly pull up one of those cameras and take a look and see what's going on over in your neck of the woods. I might not be able to see if we can make this happen. There we go. There's Flagstaff live. Yeah, it's giving me a nice little COVID alert. I couldn't really show it to you. So now we should have full screen again. There's the beautiful and amazing downtown Flagstaff, Arizona. It's pretty dead too. That little tiny road right there gets a lot of action. I spend quite a bit of time up there. We try to escape to Flagstaff as much as we can. It's just a beautiful town. It's fun in the wintertime. There's snow and all that kind of other stuff that we don't get down here. The camera should quickly pan around in a little bit. Let's see if we can wait for the pan. Yesterday we had pigeon camp. So the roof that this camera is on, I think it's at the old Railroad Museum in Flagstaff. I believe that's what it's on top of. And you get some, like, it loads up with pigeons in this time of the afternoon. And there's basically just massive amounts of pigeons and pigeon fighting going on, which is kind of really cool. We should just start taking bets on it. But it should just pan around and you'll get to see maybe a nice shot of the San Francisco peaks. You can see it down there in the logo. That's what's beautiful about Flagstaff. I would encourage you, once this is done, once we kind of get back to somewhat normal life, at least as far as travel goes, I would encourage you to come hang out in Arizona if you haven't been here. Beautiful state. Flagstaff is amazing. There's some really cool stuff down here in the Phoenix area where I live. If you're a fan of music and stuff like that, I was actually watching a video of Jimmy Eat World playing an acoustic set at the Crescent Ballroom, which is right around the corner from the house. So just to know, I mean, those kind of folks that are there all the time. And just the fact they played this acoustic set to an empty Crescent Ballroom, which I thought was cool. So if you want something to go look at, that's a pretty cool little video to go dig into too. It's just neat to see that Crescent Ballroom there and completely empty, which was crazy, right? I mean, it's crazy to see them there empty but playing a show and broadcasting it live on YouTube, which was pretty cool. It's neat to see that happening. I watched the live stream of the one and the only Brad Paisley the other day doing that too, doing some cool little, like, concert action, taking requests live, streaming from his phone. So there's a lot of neat stuff happening out there. There's a lot of ways to find entertainment, a lot of ways to keep yourself busy right now. So I hope things are going good for you. I'm getting ready to sign off. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I always appreciate it. I hope that this is as good for you as it is for me. I really enjoy taking the time to be able to have this conversation with you, share a little bit of news with you. I'm going to keep leaving you with this message until you start throwing rocks at me, and then I'll probably do it for another couple of weeks after that. But it's a time for helping, not hiding, right? We can help while being distanced. I've heard stories of folks doing all kinds of amazing things. Offer to help in any way that you can, right? I'm offering to help currently in several different ways. You've heard me on here say, listen, if you need help with understanding how respirators work or how to use those safely or what that actually looks like or help with PPE, I can't tell you that I've got all the answers, but I can at least point you in the right direction or to somebody that does. And if you've got answers to stuff, if you've got good information, share it with people. Point people in the direction of good information. Ask your neighbors if they have everything they need. Ask your family if they have everything that they need. Pick up the phone and call somebody. Call somebody that you love or care about or want to check on and say, hello, howdy, hi, how are you doing? I just wanted to call and make sure you're okay and you have what you need and just tell you that I'm thinking about you. That goes a long way. We forget how far that actually goes. And if you know a healthcare provider, now's a really good time to say thank you. Like, I get it. And most of them are going to get mad at you for saying thank you. They're just going to say, shut up, I'm doing my job. That's just the kind of people most of them are. Just shut up, I'm doing my job. But it still means something. So reach out to those folks. Say thank you. They're out there fighting this thing on the front line. Reach out to those folks that are continuing to go out and work every single day because they're essential. There are still folks out there working every single day, right? There's folks out there building stuff every single day. There are folks out there in power plants every single day keeping the lights on. There are folks out there working on power lines every single day keeping the lights on. There are still folks out there delivering packages and cooking food and doing everything else in between and under the sun to try to keep our world going to some extent. And if you know some of those people, I will tell you, I will encourage you right now to stop listening to me right now as we sign off and go say hi, howdy, hello, and give those folks a big thank you. Right? You might want to do it over FaceTime. You probably don't want to do it in person, but to give them a big thank you right now. That's all I've got. That's all I can leave you with, right? It's a say thank you more than you think you should. Right now is a good time to do that because there's a lot of folks that need to hear that. Help, right? Don't hide. Help. Be prepared and not panicked. This is Sam Goodman. I have been, once again, your tour guide to the apocalypse. Thank you for continuing to hang out with me. We will do this thing again, more than likely tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, for sure, Friday at 8, every Wednesdays at 5 and Fridays at 8. Make sure you head to the website, www.thehopnerd.com. Follow along all that social media garbage. I'm pretty much everywhere. Just look for this ugly face or this fancy, handy-dandy logo right there. Again, if you're watching this and it's after we are live, please make sure that you use one of these numbers and leave us a voicemail, get a hold of us, right? You can leave that stuff there, voicemail, text, all that stuff. They're right here below. You see them there. They are handy dandy phone numbers, and we'll use that stuff. We'll answer your questions, include your input or comments or all that stuff live tomorrow on the show, and if not tomorrow, Friday, as we said. So again, thank you for allowing me to continue to be your tour guide to the apocalypse. This is Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd. I am signing off. Thank you once again. Stay safe out there. Watch out for each other. Take care of each other. That's all I got. Bye, everybody. Bye.